right, so let's start where we left off, which was New Year's Day. So New Year's Day, the moon will be in Gemini, kicking off the new year. And Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to enter the Earth sign of Capricorn at 4:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 1st. Mercury in Capricorn. So Mercury is Hermes in Greek mythology, and Hermes brought information from the gods to the people, and there was a lot of fast moving energy. And Mercury rules the sign Gemini, and it rules the sign Virgo. So Mercury rules roadways and pathways, and it likes to move fast, and it likes to get all the information. And Capricorn is a sign of stability, of earth energy. It's the force to push forward winter. Capricorn is slow moving. Capricorn rules history and antiques. And so we've got a fast moving planet in a slow moving sign. Now, bureaucracy is your best friend. Strict rules, red tape, do things by the book. Okay. Make sure that you go through in detail and make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. And don't skip a step, because you're not going to be able to get away with it while Mercury is transiting through the Earth sign, the cardinal Earth sign of Capricorn, from January 1st to January 20th. Now, on January 2nd, the moon will continue in the sign of Gemini, the mutable air sign of Gemini, until 8:09 a.m. on Friday the 2nd. And this is the same day that Chiron is going to go direct. So the moon's going to move into its own sign of Cancer, watery, intuitive Cancer. And we're heading to the full Cancer moon. So moons, full moons are emotional to begin with. There's a lot of pull on us. Okay. And then you've got the moon in its own sign. And this is a highly, highly intuitive time with the moon in the sign of Cancer. Now, it doesn't peak until the next day on the 3rd. And I hope that you already got your moon water out. If not, just grab a jar. Mason jar works great. Fill it up with some water. Put it near a window so it can pick up the rays of the moon. You want to drink that water a couple days later. And just filling yourself with the energy of the moon, okay? I also think I like the idea of doing moon water because it keeps me in the cycle of the moon so I can understand. And if I'm feeling really emotional, I can remember, okay, this is what's going on right now, because it's too easy to lose track. Now, Chiron's going to go direct on Friday the 2nd. Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron, wherever Chiron is in your chart, and it looks like a little K with a circle underneath it, that's where your soul's wound is, okay? And it's really fun to look at because I'll tell you, mine couldn't be more spot on if you tried. And so Chiron it was kind of going back over, it was in the sign of Aries, and I was born with it in Aries. So this is like a really emotional time. I started to notice, I didn't even realize until I was planning this video, like all these things were coming up. I found some old pictures that I hadn't seen in a long time of my mom, who had died pretty young. And I felt a lot of like pain and anger and like a little bit of like, wow, she really got gypped dying at age 56. And that was starting to surface up, and I started to feel really emotional. And then I remembered, oh, look at this. We're heading to a Cancer full moon. Cancer's the mom. Chiron direct, it's in my sign. It's going over everything that's happened. It wants me to feel it and pull it up and out, right? So sometimes it feels really painful. And that doesn't mean that we're on the wrong path, okay? So kind of take into account what's been going on these past few weeks and what's coming up, what's showing you, because I think that it's showing you, like, sometimes I forget that there's that feeling underneath, right? Because when we lose people we love, sometimes we just have to pull ourselves together and carry on. And then later on, we end up having to deal with some of this grief. So don't be surprised if things start to come up to the surface, especially if you're born, if you're near my age. I'm 51. If you're near my age and you were also born with Chiron and Aries. And so this is going to be an intense time for you also, because this was happening in the sign of Aries. Okay. So be gentle to yourself and know that this Cancer full moon that happens, the cold moon here on Saturday, January 4th, Saturday, January 3rd, is a very comforting full moon. So I wrote down comfort from the cold. Cancer wants to nurture and make you feel good. And so allow this nurturing energy in. Okay. It's a beautiful, beautiful, pretty smooth energy kind of time, although it can be very emotional. Trust your intuition. It's going to be very strong, very heightened during this period. And the moon will continue in the sign of Cancer on Sunday the 4th, and then it'll move into Leo, 8:44 a.m. So we'll be moving right into Leo, and Leo is almost like let's get back to me kind of energy. So if you've been feeling very emotional for a few days, you may find that by Sunday you start to spark up again and feel like yourself. Okay. So let's pull a couple cards for this week, or this short version of this week, and see what the themes are that come up. I've got my new favorite deck, the Grimm Tales, and it's a little Halloweenish. I think it came out during Halloween, but for people like me who have a lot of planets in Scorpio, sometimes we don't mind those kind of decks all year round. I also have the Before Tarot, which is a really cool deck. There's a before and there's an after. They're based on the Rider-Waite pictures, 1 minute before, 1 minute after. They're really fun. Sometimes I use all three together, before, after, and the original version. All right, now I also have a Golden Art Nouveau tarot that wanted to be part of this. This is a great deck. Okay, so let's see what the theme cards are for the new year week, for the full moon week, and let's see what's going on. I apologize, I only have one camera working today, but wanted to get this video out to you. The Six of Swords is showing up. This is Sleeping Beauty. Okay, in this Grimm fairy tales. And it's interesting. That's very interesting to me that just came up after I just shared the story of my mother with you, because, in some ways that does look like a coffin, and she looks like a woman who passed away young. But we know that this is Sleeping Beauty, and we know a kiss will awake her. So the Six of Swords, there's forward movement, kind of gives me the energy of hope. Okay, that that spell could be broken there and she could come back to life. She also, I'm not sure why, but she looks pregnant in that version to me. So maybe some things that like you thought were going to go a certain way and then they've been kind of held up, they're going to come back. Okay, Six of Swords, forward movement, Six of Air. We've got more air here, which is the Knight of, is this the Knight? No, this is the Page. The Page of Swords. Okay, so he's young, he's picking up that sword, he's ready to give it to work with it. And so there's some form of expression here, a lot of air energy, and kind of getting up and moving forward. We also have the Ace of Cups here. The cup is running over with emotion. So to me, I think pages and aces are very much alike. And so we have a lot of new energy here. Ace of Cups usually has very sensual tones to it, but it's water. And we're talking about a water sign full moon, Cancer. So there's a lot here. I would honor your own mother during this period. I would be looking at things like some things. One of the themes I noticed in the month ahead was like you get a second chance on some things that maybe didn't work out last time, or some things you thought weren't going to work out for you, like they can come back this year or this month. There's a lot of heavy Mars energy, which is about action. And so it's a pretty spicy month. So whatever this is, this kind of sleeper card here, I think it's going to be reactivated. Okay. Making sure that you also are taking enough time to get the rest that you need. And I don't know. For me, this was like the roughest holiday season. A lot of people were out sick. I overworked a lot. Lots of things like technical difficulties, just kind of frustrating energy. And so please know to take good care of yourself. This full moon is a really great time to do something really kind for yourself. Maybe a nice long bath or some acknowledgement of all that you do, caring for others also.